Have you ever had a situation where maybe when you were younger, your mom and dad said, well, you don't completely understand why I'm telling you this now, or even really what I'm telling you right now, but one day you will. And sure enough, one day you understood because you remembered it. In John 14, 15, and 16, Jesus is telling his disciples some things that they wouldn't fully understand right then, but one day they would. In John chapter 16, verses 23 and 24, there's a couple of verses I think that are very key in our understanding of this whole idea that here's something you don't understand right now, but you will understand a little later. In that very text, Jesus says, and in that day you will ask me nothing. Truly I say to you, whatever you ask the Father in my name, he will give it to you. Before now you have asked nothing in my name. Ask, and you shall receive, that your joy may be full. Jesus is not just spontaneously breaking off of his discussion and teaching a lesson on prayer here when he says, ask something in my name or don't ask something in my name. That's really not what it's about. The depth of what Jesus is discussing in these two sentences, these two verses, is the understanding of who Jesus really is. Notice the text that we read begins with, in that day. Well, what day is it? When you look back at the context in the previous verses, Jesus had said, I'm going away and you can't come with me, but one day I'm coming back, and when I come back, your joy is going to be full. Well, that's the day. And when Jesus returns, he says to his disciples, you won't ask me anything about that then, because before now, and in the context, they wanted to know, what is he talking about and what does he mean? And he says, but when I return, your understanding will be so much deeper and so much greater. You and I have an understanding of Jesus now, of course, but as we grow and we mature and we see Jesus fulfill his teachings and promises, we begin to have greater understandings as well. And Jesus says the things that you will ask, you'll ask them in my name, because before now you haven't asked anything in my name. I think what Jesus means there is that before now they didn't really fully understand who Jesus was, that he really was the Messiah, that he is the Messiah, that they knew he was a great man, that he was the Son of God. You know, Peter had made that confession, you are the Christ, but it was still something that maybe wasn't just so solidified in their faith and their understanding that it was absolutely conviction in their heart. Jesus says, but one day it will be. One day you will see and ask and know everything in my name. And when you do that, Jesus says, your joy will be full. They had a level of joy at this point, but Jesus says there's coming a time when the joy will be full. It will be complete. And I think the lesson that you and I can take away from that is that when we really know who Jesus is, when we really know what he means in our life, our joy will be full.